After I tested his hearing, got him fit with hearing aids, he left the clinic and came back about 3 hours later, and he was actually in tears. We asked him what the problem was, maybe they were painful, and he said, I was sitting in a park bench and I was listening to a bird chirp, and I haven't heard a bird chirp in 30 years. It meant a lot to me that we helped a man regain some of his hearing. He was a colonel that served with MacArthur. My name is Adkisson. I served in the United States Army for 4 years, from 1986 to 1990. I was going to the University of Oregon, and I was pre-business like everybody else, and I felt that I needed kind of an internal compass to put me in the right direction. One of my good friends asked if I would be interested in talking to a recruiter. I come from a background of science and biology, so I took a chance and I became an ENT specialist. Ear, nose, and throat was broken down into 3 main compartments. And the first one was the actual ear, nose, and throat clinic in the hospital. And we did outpatient services and we did surgical procedures as well. We assisted doctors. The second aspect of it was audiology and speech pathology, where we would do full diagnostic hearing tests on patients. And then the third was Fort Lewis hearing conservation. So we would go out and do baseline hearing tests on different units throughout Fort Lewis. And then we would monitor any potential hearing loss that was happening. I needed to head in a direction that was going to start benefiting me and my career and where I was headed. So I did a lot of growing up in the military, needed responsibility and discipline, and I got it. The most rewarding thing about the surgical clinic was working with cancer patients. A lot of success stories of people beating cancer. I was only successful in the military based on the core ethics that my parents brought me up with. My dad was in the United States Navy. He was in during the Korean War, and he served on the USS Boxer and the USS Princeton, and he was a photog. So when a plane was coming in and its tailhook wasn't down, or if one landing gear failed to deploy, my dad was there to make sure that they had a record of it. My mom, not only did she raise 6 kids, but she also was a full-time employee for a lot of that. So she was a very hardworking woman. I can attribute my core values of integrity and honesty to both my mother and father. It wasn't uncommon for me to bring friends home that were from back east or from the Midwest that couldn't go home. We'd just hop in my car and drive for 3 hours, and we'd be in Eugene, Oregon, sitting at my family's table for Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner. And I know that meant a lot for the guys that I served with, because sometimes that phone call to home just doesn't cut it, you know. The friendships that you make there are really, really strong. And if I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't hesitate to enlist in the Army.